Good morning, all of you. In today's session, we are going to start with the 10th standard chemistry and physics, unit 12, carbon and its compound. Series number 2 is going to be discussed. In the earlier session, we already completed the introductory part of the carbon, how the tetravalency is imparted for the carbon and what is the electron distribution around the carbon atom and what will be the electronegativity of the carbon and introduction of the scientist with relevant to the carbon and its related compounds were discussed in the earlier session. In addition to all these, we already completed unit 1 to unit 11, entire detailed discussion available on the channel called World of Competitive Chemistry. Now we entered into series number 2 of this unit 12, carbon and its compounds. Let us enter into today's concept, how the promotion of an electron is possible. Right. So here, how these energetically unequal valency electrons from the 4 equivalent covalent bonds in the methane molecule. It's very strange to understand. So how different? Because s orbital energy is different and p orbital energy, being p orbitals, all 3 p orbitals are degenerated in nature, but s orbital energy is somewhat different, right? But so after getting all reacted with a hydrogen, for example, I'm taking the simplest example, methane formation, which is indicated here, right? So it able to form 4 bonds, but 4 bonds are having equal energy and equal bond angle, equal bond length. What could be the reason for this one during the formation of methane molecule? So here, in order to explain that one, here the conceptual sequence is provided to you. This is a question which was posed here. Now let us try to derive the answer for this one. When bonds are formed, energy is released and the system becomes more stable. So in most of the cases, during the bond formation and during the product formation, always the bond or compound will become more stable in nature. If a carbon forms 4 bonds rather than 2, still more energy will be released. Hence, we can say it is a more stable one, because carbon having tetravalency, 4 unpaired electrons are available, so that it able to form a tetravalent compound, so that it will be a more stable one. So it is the simple depiction of electronic configuration of a carbon atom. Being 1s orbital is a inner one and 2s 2p is the outer shell, which is denoted as a valency shell for this carbon atom, right? So here 2s orbital is accompanied by 2 electrons and 2p orbital with the 2 electrons again. So this will be the system with the 2s and 2p under normal conditions. When energy is supplied from the external source, what happens? One of the electron will be added to this 2p orbital, so that it turned into a 2s1 2p3 electronic configuration. This is a system after supplying the external energy. So this is the excited energy level, we can say, where electron is transformed from 2s to 2p sublevel. Okay. Now let us see, the energy difference between 2s and 2p orbitals are very small, because both are laying on the valency shell, and orbital spacing, orbital energy difference will be infinitesimal, and it is convenient to promote the electron from 2s to 2p level. When carbon atom is ready to form the bonds and get a small amount of energy from the bond energies and get excited, so being already we discussed in the earlier session, what happens, the energy requirement for this excitation is coming from the bond energy. During the bond formation, the extent of energy release that will participate in this kind of bond formation and get excited to promote the electron from 2s to the empty 2pz to give 4 unpaired electrons. Whenever one of the electron is moving to this 2pz orbital, what happens? It is converted into a 2p, 2s1 and 2p3 kind of system, where 4 electrons are here. We have got 4 unpaired electrons ready for bonding, but these electrons in 2 different kind of orbitals in energies are different. We are not going to get a 4 identical. So though we have 4 electrons here, but one is 2s orbital, second is 2p orbital. These 2p orbitals are equi-energical, energetical, but the 2s orbital slightly lower. But after the bond formation, all 4 orbitals should acquire the equal energy. Then how can we get that one? In order to explain that concept, get the equalization of all the energy, we have to go through the process that is called a hybridization. here will be the hybridization process will be applied. Let us see how it is possible. What is meant by hybridization? The concept of hybridization is introduced by the scientist called Linus Pauling, which already completed. We already completed the study about this Linus Pauling in the earlier session, and he discovered this the concept of hybridization in 1931. And he also gave the phenomenon of Pauling scale in order to measure the electronegativity of the elements. The redistribution of the orbitals of almost equal energy in the individual atom to give the equal number of new orbitals with the identical properties like energy and a shape is called a hybridization. Right. So here, if orbitals are having equal energy and equal shape, those orbitals will be generated by intermixing of all the orbitals. Here it is clearly mentioned. If you see one of the the spherical one is a s orbital and the dumbbell one is a p orbital. When get mixed, there is an equal number of sp hybrid orbitals will be generated. This is one of the sp hybrid. This is another. This is called the sp kind of hybridization. And next is about sp2, where one spherical s orbital and two dumbbell p orbitals get mixed and sp2 hybridized orbitals. How many are going to be added? 1, 2, 3 orbitals, so that here 3 hybrid orbitals will be generated. Number of orbitals will participate in a hybridization mixing, then equal number of hybrid orbitals will be originated. This is denoted as a sp2. And go with sp3, where s orbital with the first px, py, and pz. 3 orbitals are going to be mixed, and 4 equi-energetic, equi-sized orbitals of sp3 hybridized orbitals will be generated. This is the process of mixing of orbitals. Even though atomic orbitals having distinguishable energy, some are having lower, some other having higher, by intermixing all this, what happened that eventually converted into orbitals of equal energy and equal dimensions. This is the concept called hybridization, which is given by the Linus Pauling, and the process is called hybridization. Orbitals originated by this mixing is called a hybrid orbitals. Here, basically, we are going to discuss about sp3, sp2, and sp kind of hybridization here. sp3 hybridization, where s orbital and 3 p orbitals are mixed in such a way. So just like here, spherical s orbital and dumbbell p orbitals are going to be mixed, and sp3 hybridized orbitals will be originated. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4 sp3 hybridized orbitals are originated, and here in between the orbital lobes, the angle provided will be equal, that is 109 degrees 28 minutes for sp3. When we move on to sp2, where s orbital, one s orbital, here you can clearly see one s orbital and 2 p orbitals are going to be mixed, and the sp2 hybridization is possible. 1, 2, 3 sp2 hybrid orbitals, and the angle between these two consecutive orbitals is 120 degrees. So 120 degrees is the angle. Being sp2 hybridized orbitals are planar in nature, it will impart 120 degrees angle. And sp hybridization, one s orbital and one p orbital get mixed, and here the two orbitals will be generated. sp orbitals are 2. Here you can clearly see sp orbital. So here linear sp orbitals are generated in this manner, and here the angle between these two orbitals, being it is a linear, it is said to be a linear one, where angle will be 180. This is a general depiction for hybridization. So other than this sp3d2, sp3d, sp3d3, such a hybridization is also possible. But for organic chemistry, for carbon taken into consideration, we are going with sp, sp2, sp3 kind of hybridization, because carbon is having lack of d orbital. That's the reason why these are most common kind of hybridization which are available. When we go with inorganic compounds, there are some other hybridizations also possible, but carbon compounds, the possible hybridizations are sp, sp2, and sp3 type of hybridizations. Let us go with the clear description about sp3 kind of hybridization. As we discussed, one sp3 means what? Within the system only we have the answer. 1 s orbital, 3 p orbitals get mixed, so that here 4 orbitals. How many? S1 plus 3, so that here 4 orbitals are going to be originated here. In order to get this, a spherical s orbital, dimensionless s orbital is mixing with the 2px, 2py, 2pz orbital of the carbon atom, so that they will reshuffle, all get intermixed in an equal proportion, and 4 identical orbitals of sp3 orbitals will be originated, or 4 sp3 orbitals will be originated here. Thus, carbon atom undergo sp3 hybridization. So here, if we are mixing 1 s orbital with 3 p orbital, so that 4 sp3 hybrid orbitals generated, this is called sp3 hybridization. And 4 electrons enter into a new 4 identical hybrid orbitals. So here these are hybrid orbitals are acquiring electron in these lobes. Now sp3 hybrid orbitals occupying 1 electron. So this is in accordance with the Hund's rule. So in order to fill the electrons, we have to obey Hund's rule as well as Auber principle. Everything are followed. So here acquiring electrons in individual orbitals, because what is Hund's rule? After giving 1 electron in the degenerated orbital, then only pairing of electrons are possible. Being these are equi-energetical in nature, electrons enter into this sp3 orbital, this sp3, this sp3, and this sp3. So then only here Hund's rule can be obeyed. So here all 4 orbitals are equally distributed with the 4 electrons. So this is in accordance with the Hund's formula, where so individual orbitals can be accompanied by 1 electron. So then only pairing of electrons are possible. That is called a Hund's rule, because they are made from the s orbital and 3p orbitals called sp3 hybrid orbitals, which is depicted in this diagram. Now let us see how the electron distribution and how orbital mixing is possible. So here 2s orbitals somewhat. So energetically, when we go with the energy profile diagram of all this sp3 hybridization process, s orbital being comparatively lower energy, it can be placed here, and 2p orbitals, all 3 orbitals are having equal energy. 2px1, 2py1, 2pz1 will be there. S orbital being it is a spherical one, it is indicated here with the spherical lobe, and here 2px, 2py, 2pz will be there. During the hybridization, we are going to mix all these orbitals, and a reshufflement of orbitals are possible here. S orbital is acquiring 1, and p1 in either p1 in either p1. So these are the hybrid orbitals which originated by mixing of all these s and px, py, pz orbitals. This is said to be a sp3 hybridization, and all 4 orbitals are degenerated in nature, means equi-energetic in nature. All are having equal energy. So identical orbitals are generated by mixing in a equal proportion. The hybridization enables the carbon to have a 4 identical sp3 hybrid orbitals, and these have 1 electron in each. Each is occupied with 1 electron as per Hund's formula. Since carbon has 4 unpaired electrons, it is capable of forming bonds with the 4 other atoms. So here each and every lobe is accompanied by 1 electron. That's the reason why they are able to form 4 bonds around that. The simplest representation of how these orbitals are oriented is mentioned here. These 4 orbitals are arranged in a regular tetrahedral geometry. So here all 4 lobes are inclined in this manner. So here this is called a regular tetrahedral geometry, and this regular tetrahedral geometry enables it able to form 4 bonds around this. 4 bonds are favorable, being it is a tetravalent in nature. Now, let us see when the carbon reacts with the hydrogen. So the simplest compound we are going to discuss here, that is a carbon upon reaction with a hydrogen. So there is a formation of methane called a marsh gas, right? So here being it is a 1 carbon system with 4 bonds around that, and in this way here carbon is able to form bonds with the hydrogen in a regular tetrahedral geometry, whose bond angle is depicted as so in the consecutive bonds the angle will be 109 degrees 28 minutes. S orbital will intermix with the 3p orbital, so that here sp3 hybridized bond will be generated. The geometry is said to be tetrahedral. Angle will be 109 degrees 28 minutes. If you go with this bond, this bond, this bond, all are bond angled one. So there is no change because of they are in the equal energy as well as equal bond angle because of the process called a hybridization. And 4 orbitals of atom on the outer shell orient along with the 4 corners of tetrahedron. So here 4 corners of tetrahedrons are mentioned here. These 2 bonds are indicated with the straight normal bonds. These are called a planar bond. That means 2 bonds are laying on the plane. So when you are going to open a book, what happens? So here book pages are on the 2 book pages are oriented in the air, and when it is it kept on the table, for example, 2 corners are touching the table, and that book is placed in the open air. In the similar manner, here also these 2 hydrogens are touching the plane. These are indicated with the normal bonds. These two are placed on the plane. So, and this bond indicated with the dotted line, that is beyond the viewer. So if we are seeing from this side, one of the hydrogen with a dotted line will be back side, and the bond indicated with the wedge bond, that means a dark line, and that is towards the viewer. If you are seeing from this side, so that hydrogen inclined towards us, so that is the wedge bond or dark bond. So here normal bonds depicts what these 2 are present on the paper, otherwise present on the plane, flat surface. One of the hydrogen away from the viewer, and this hydrogen is towards us. So this is a kind of representation, and around this carbon atom we can find a 109 degrees 28 minutes bond angle, and each hydrogen is occupying tetrahedral corners. Now, even you go with this bond, any kind, all are equi-angled, like a 109 degrees 28 minutes. So when we go with the simplest example, methane, so sp3 hybridized orbitals of carbon able to form bond with the hydrogen. Hydrogen, how many electrons will be there? Only 1 electron, and that electron is laying in 1s orbital. 1s orbital because hydrogen accompanied by 1s orbital itself. So that here hydrogen is providing 1 electron, carbon is providing another electron. This is called a mutual sharing of electrons, so that here covalent bond formation is possible, and the bond is denoted as a sp3s sigma bond. What is the name of the bond? sp3s sigma bond formation is possible. In the same manner, around the carbon, the regular tetrahedral geometry, sp3s bond, sp3s bond, sp3s bond, sp3s bond. 4 regular tetrahedral sp3s bonds are generated in this methane. It is the simplest example for this sp3 type of hybridization. This leads to 4 sp3 s sigma bonds are generated, 4 hydrogen atoms. All these hydrogen atoms, all these bonds are having equal energy in nature. All the bonds are having equal energy. So here by this we completed sp3 hybridization. In the next session we are going to come up with sp2 and sp hybridization of a carbon atom, right? So in this session what we discussed, so what is the reason? What's the reason for getting equal energy of the bonds in the regular tetrahedral geometry, even though we are taking 1 s orbital and 3 p orbitals? S orbital, p orbitals not equally energized, but product is having equally energized bonds. So that is the logical question that that is given here. In order to explain that, the concept hybridization was given. Hybridization basically 3 types which imparted for carbon. One is sp3, sp2 and sp hybridization. So here entire exclusive discussion for sp3 hybridization is provided here, and by taking methane as the simplest example, we gone through the sp3 hybridization and what will be the bond angle, what will be the geometry of the molecule. Entire things were discussed here. Hope this session will helpful for your preparation. Thank you very much for your consistent listening. Thank you one and all.